The video for A School is really taking a lot of views, and that's really good, but I'm not getting as many questions as I'm getting views. So whatever, if you guys are watching this and you came from that video, whatever you were looking for, whatever answers you were looking to get, comment those below, hit me up, let me know what it is that you want answered. I'll make a video so that it doesn't just help you, but it helps other people. What up, guys? So I feel like I owe you another video answering questions. Sorry if the audio might be a little weird. It's a little bit noisier in the office than it usually is. But some of the questions. So I wrote down some of the questions here and we'll just go over them. So one of the main questions that I got, or that the videos have been getting over and over and over, are about Asvab scores, about staying off base, living off base whenever you're at A School. So whenever I was at A School in San Antonio, staying off base was for the fleet returnees. They were the ones that could stay off base as long as they were at the schoolhouse and in the classroom at that specific time in the morning that we were there to muster. As long as they were there at the schoolhouse at the time that we were mustering, then they were good to stay off base. One of the questions was like, if you have a family dependents, if you want to move them to Texas, the Navy's not going to pay for that while you're at A School, because A School is kind of like a temporary assignment for you to get to your actual permanent duty station, which is going to be your first duty station. So the Navy's not going to pay for you to bring your family out there while you're at school, but if you want to move them out there for that time being, then that's going to be on you. Will you be able to stay with them? It's also up to your chain of command if they will allow you to stay off base. Most likely you're going to have to stay on base and in the barracks for the first like 2 or 3 weeks, and then once your class starts getting liberty, then you will be able to stay off base overnight as long as you get back on base and at the schoolhouse at the right time. Another question. So Asvab, been asked what has my Asvab score been? What is the Asvab score that I had to become a corpsman? If you guys look up, I'll try and find that link below. But if you guys look up like the minimum scores or the Asvab scores for whatever job rate that you want, you can find those numbers. The overall number does not really matter. It's the little individual numbers that make up that large number for what job. So for me, my score was low compared to most people's, but it was high in the right categories, if that makes sense. So I can't remember what mine was. I think it was like a 43 or a 45 or something like that, but mine was pretty low. I took the Asvab twice. The first time I definitely failed it. The second time I passed it, but it wasn't a high score, but it was high enough for me to get a list of, or qualify for a list of jobs. So yeah, it's kind of all about the Asvab. So like I said, study for the Asvab. There's books, there's websites. The only thing is whenever you start doing the websites, the online learning stuff, a lot of times that's just repetitive questions. So instead of you actually learning things, you just retain what the answer was, and you know which one to select. So it's good to actually know the math, know the English, because there are some pretty hard questions on that test. There are some tricky questions. It took me 2 times to get high enough to qualify for a list of jobs. Asvab is kind of a hit or miss when it comes to passing it, and then passing it to get the job that you want to qualify for. There are some people that hit like high 90s, they do perfect on it, and there's some people, as myself, just have issues or trouble with it. One thing, it is a long test, so if you're not good at taking tests, that test there is pretty long. I think it was like 3 hours, I want to say, if not longer. So whenever you do go to take your Asvab, just know it's going to take a while. Green side out of A School. Now the way that getting orders out of A school works. You either have ship, shore, greenside, or C school. Depending on what is available, the detailers, which are the ones that actually give you, can select what jobs that each individual will orders. They're the ones that cut your orders for you. So if it was a whole wave of C schools, the class before yours, then most likely you will be getting a couple ships, a couple shores, and not many of the C schools. So it kind of depends what the Navy needs and what the Navy allows the detailers to give. There's no guarantee of anything that you put on your dream sheet. Like week 4, week 5 is whenever you get, when you sit down after school. We sat down in the auditorium. It was just like a random day, and yeah, they gave us sheets, and the sheets basically asked us questions like, do we want East Coast, West Coast? Do we want ship, shore, greenside, or sea school? Then it had 3 lines, so you put down which sea schools that you wanted, and it also had 3 or 4 lines. You put down which location that you wanted for like a duty station. They actually give you a list of what sea schools are available at that time. If you 100% want to go greenside, I would recommend obviously putting it on your dream sheet, and if that does not work out, have the backup as being a quad 0 as myself, because I know whenever I was in Cuba before being stationed here on the ship, it was a lot easier to put in orders or to talk to the detailers to get greenside orders. I wouldn't say it's easy now, now that I'm already on an operational platform being on the ship, but it's still, whenever I go to look at orders, there's still that NEC for greenside there. Also, with specific C schools that you want, same thing as wanting to go greenside. It depends what's available, how many slots they need to fill, and things like that. So C schools, I believe we have like 35, 38, 39 C schools. So there's a bunch of different C schools that you can get. A lot of them aren't as available as others are, just because those slots are already been filled, and it's just a small NEC. When you're quad 0, you're basically a universal corpsman. So you can go on a ship, you can go to shore, you can go any department in the hospital. Whenever you have an NEC, that's what your job is now. Yes, you're a corpsman, but if you're, for instance, if you are a radiology tech NEC, you're not going to be in laboratory. You're not going to be doing other stuff around the hospital, the clinics, and you might not even get certain duty stations because of you having that NEC. So the way that I was told in Cuba, if you plan on the long term in the military or in the Navy as a corpsman, then and you're kind of unsure which option that you want to go, quad 0. That way you still have all your options available. If you plan on staying in a very short time and you know which NEC that you want, go ahead and request that, go ahead and get it. That way you can start getting the most out of the time that you are in the Navy, and go ahead and get your experience, get your certifications, whatever the NEC is that you can transfer out into the civilian side. That's pretty much the questions that I came across. And the video is already like 11 minutes. Alright, so today is my duty day. It is already 11 o'clock, it's pretty late at night, and before I went to bed, I wanted to go ahead and make this video for you guys, and hope it helped. Keep the questions coming, and I will see you guys in the next video.